Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to spend 10 or 15 minutes talking about our business and the technology and how we're using AI to enhance humanity. Let me start by introducing myself. My name's Jeremy Steele. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Control Bionics. We're an Australian and US company that have been in operation for almost 20 years. We've designed and developed and manufacture a range of medical devices that uses AI to assist people who have inability to communicate and potentially have conditions such as ALS, cerebral palsy, spinal cord injury, amongst others. Maybe just to start, if I could ask you to turn to your neighbour and tell them what interests you. Tell them what interests you the most about AI. But there's a catch. You can't talk. You can't gesture. You can't smile. You can't text. Over to you to see if you can do it. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that without an ability to use any of these features, it's almost impossible to communicate. But we're delighted now that with the advancement of AI, this is now a possibility. Our most basic emotional need is to be understood. AI allows the millions of people around the world with conditions that I mentioned, ALS, cerebral palsy, who are, their ability to communicate is largely rendered impossible or very laborious, to establish meaningful connections, express themselves, and fill our most basic emotional need to be understood. Historically, non-verbal people have been denied this need. I firmly believe that communication is a human right. The reality of being non-verbal is that it's harder to participate in a world that was not built for you. I'd like to introduce you to Ryoka. Pictured up here. He's a customer of ours in Osaka in Japan. Ryoka's 24 years old. He has cerebral palsy. I've met him and his wonderful mother a number of times. Ryoka's story is a testament to how important interpersonal communications are. Ryoka can't speak, he has cerebral palsy, he can't control a touch device, so how does he communicate? It was not until Ryoka was able to communicate his intentions via our technology to his family that his family actually realized how cognitive he was. Too often we associate cognition with conversation. If you cannot converse, how do you demonstrate intelligence, understanding, capacity to determine right from wrong? Once Ryoka was able to have that conversation with his family, they realized how actually cognitively advanced he was. That immediately changed and reframed the relationship he had with his family, to the point now where, amazingly, he's been dependent on his family living at home for the last 24 years, and in the next few weeks he's going to move out and live by himself because he can now use technology to demonstrate intention and create connections. The physiological need to be understood is universal and basic, and as basic as we are as human beings. Understanding is a basic element of intimate connection and what allows us to feel emotionally safe. When we accurately and empathetically are being understood, that's when we can trust and feel close to others. Not being understood can be traumatic. It can lead to a lack of meaningful connection. It means that you can't show your true self, you can't create connections, show your personality, and can certainly leave you to you feeling quite isolated. But it goes to more than being just frustrated. It's actually quite damaging to our mental health, the inability to communicate. It can cause fear, anxiety, sadness, frustration, anger, and quite often can lead to social rejection. Feelings that are exacerbated when you are not able to communicate verbally. Being understood to get one's needs met is essential. Augmentative and assistive communication devices have helped thousands of people for many, many years connect with people, communicate with people. But there is so much more that people want to share. And this is where AI can play a role and is playing a role in our business. Storytelling and art are forms of communication that fulfill a higher need. They allow individuals to express individuality and creativity in a way that connects them with others. Through storytelling and art, people can share more about who they are. For those who are non-verbal, the ability to convey what is in their imagination is about being further understood more than just meeting a simple request. It is incredibly enriching to the lives of the people around them, and importantly, the lives of the individual who cannot communicate verbally. So ChatCrackers is Control Bionics' AI product. It works basically on any tablet device and allows users an ability to create individual art and tell stories using wearable assistive technology. Leveraging the power of AI, ChatCrackers allows users to make choices and create unique works of art. There's also a storytelling feature that uses digital breadcrumbs and tracks every movement and touch of a button through the software to create an individual and unique story to that person at that point in time. It is much easier to promote engagement if the reward is increased, and AI provides the leverage to create elevated rewards and meaningful outcomes. So I thought the best way to show you what it means and how it works is to share with you the story of Moira. Moira is a customer of ours in America. She and her family were very kind to allow us to shoot some video a couple of weeks ago to show her using ChatCrackers. Moira is 12 years old. She's living with a genetic and rare disease, a horrible, horrible disease called pontocerebellar hyperplasia type 2. It impacts everything, effectively. She's cognitive, she understands, but she's not able to control most of her body. It affects her motor development and obviously affects her ability to communicate, as she is non-verbal. But with the help of ChatCrackers, she's been able to use AI to express herself in a way in which she's never had the opportunity to before. So let's see Moira using ChatCrackers.
Moira takes Manhattan. Tiffany's. Macy's. Flower vase.
You bought a vase for flowers.
Moira street food. Pretzel. Hot dog.
You stopped to eat a hot dog.
In the interest of time, we've sped that up a little bit, but suffice to say, she made every single one of those choices. She created that story for herself and for her family. Here is an excerpt of the story that she wrote. I'll leave you to read it yourself. But some takeaways for her family and for us as the developers of this technology. What's clear is that Moira spent a lot of time in Tiffany's and Macy's, so her family knows she loves to shop. Moira then went to a pet store and she bought a Great Dane and a hamster, so she obviously loves animals too. This kind of connection is extraordinary. I think for those of us who are fortunate enough to be able to communicate verbally and develop relationships in traditional ways, you perhaps don't appreciate the impact this technology can have on the individuals and the families. These stories can be saved, they can be read out via technology, shared with teachers and loved ones, they can be turned into storybooks. Many, many ways in which the engagement, the reward is increased to provide Moira and her family with the highest quality of life. The best way to describe it for someone who doesn't understand the impact is to have a look at the feedback that Dania, Moira's mother, gave us. And I'm just going to have her read out just a short bit of her feedback because it really speaks to the power of this technology.
Augmentative communication, and even more specifically, EMG signal-driven communication, has been a game changer for her and for us. Now, with her device's AI capabilities, her creativity knows no bounds. She can self-direct her own play, create and share her own stories, and express her imagination, her preferences, and her emotions in ways we never thought possible. There are parts of Moira's spirit that I've always felt just below the surface and painfully unreachable to me. Hearing her unique voice through her creations has opened a whole new world of self-efficacy, communication, connection, and understanding for Moira and for our family.
So what good is AI if it's not accessible? You notice that Moira couldn't reach out and touch the screen, so we've had to bring the AI to the capabilities of the user. We do that through developing technologies that have three physiological modalities: electromyography, electrooculography, and spatial mode. Electromyography, EMG, is detecting the signals that your body generates when you move muscles, the electrical signal. Electrooculography is measuring the potential between the front and the back of your eye, again, another electrical signal. And spatial is movement in space, which we all understand, up, down, front, back. Our devices allow for individuals to access technology through the smallest amount of movement, and at times movement that's not detectable to the eye. I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes on EMG because this is where the technology is really moving, where the use of EMG is broadening out the spectrum of potential ways in which you can examine human physiology. For those who are not aware, EMG, very simple. I think to move my index finger. To move that finger, my brain is generating sending a signal to generate an electrical activity, and EMG is the measurement of that electrical activity through the muscle. We turn that, using our algorithm and our intellectual property, we turn that into a way in which individuals can operate technology. The NeuroStrip is our next advancement in the technology. It's a wearable device that really is bringing forward EMG into the future. It's a small, reusable, adhesive patch, can be disposable or reusable, that addresses issues associated with power management, data transfer, and discreteness of a body-worn device. I've got one on me right now, which, just excuse me, so you can see it down there. So the idea is you have a discrete device that will allow you to access and collect data. The amount of data that you can get from the body is quite extraordinary. And this device will allow researchers to put it into AI and train models and understand what you can do with physiological conditions, whether that be movement disorders, or there's a broad range of potential applications such as sports science. But rather than have me talk about it, let me show you a short video.
Since 2005, Control Bionics have been improving people's lives by changing the way we interface with technology through electromyography. Introducing the NeuroStrip by Control Bionics, the universal machine for physiology, 20 years in the making. The NeuroStrip brings an unprecedented flexibility and accuracy to EMG devices. Unlike other devices that are restricted to a wrist or connected to external electrodes, the NeuroStrip weighs only 3 grams, is as easy to apply as a Band-Aid, and can be placed at almost any point on the body. It is so sensitive that it can detect signals before there is even movement associated with the muscle contraction. The physiological signal is transferred through conductive segments of the electrode patch to the NeuroStrip electrode array. Measured in the mere millionths of a volt, the signal is transferred via best-in-class circuitry to 3 DSPs for multiprocessing, allowing high-fidelity real-time data to be transmitted wirelessly to the NeuroStrip app. The NeuroStrip's direct-to-skin, full-spectrum, and unrivaled fidelity output means it has universal application across a wide variety of fields, including rehabilitation, sports science, wearables, and medical industry. It gives voice and mobility to those without. It offers athletes unprecedented insights into their performance, allowing them to optimize training to improve muscle function and enhance their recovery. It facilitates more targeted, engaging, and effective rehabilitation treatments than ever before. It can provide the data to train AI models for the monitoring and diagnosis of medical conditions. It can even make work more productive and make play more fun. In fact, it's so easily integrated into other systems that all its applications are yet to be discovered. In an era that is transforming how humans interface with technology, the NeuroStrip is redefining how we connect, operate, and interact with intention.
So just to finish up, assistive AI is changing how people are understood. It's changing interpersonal relationships, communities, family dynamics, and society at large. It's producing a more equitable and inclusive world for those who are non-verbal. By fostering creativity and expression, AI is helping us better express our humanity. I might have a minute or two for questions. We've got a booth set up over the other side where we've got both Chakrakers and NeuroStrips if people want to come and experience the technology firsthand. I'd like to thank Moira's family, Ryoka's family, and thank you very much for coming today.
My prediction for the next 20 years is that we will see.
We do have a moment for some questions, so do raise your hand and a microphone will come to you. Don't be shy. No?
Obviously very clear.
I'll ask
please.
A question then, yeah. So how do you scale this? What are the kind of challenges for you at the moment?
I guess perhaps one of the greatest challenges we face is there's so much opportunity. It's about concentration. So we've identified 12 specific conditions for the use of the NeuroStrip. You've seen some of them here. Rehabilitation and sports are some obvious places. But we're not a big business, and so how do we not get too distracted by the next opportunity? And so James, my colleague here, and I spent a lot of time trying to not get distracted, and that's actually probably the biggest challenge of scale.
No, absolutely. And do you have many investors that are interested?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of interest. We raised some money recently, and I had a number of medical professionals come in because they can see the opportunity. The wearable, disposable, very lightweight nature. There isn't another device like that out there, and so I'm encouraged by medical professionals putting their money into the business.
Okay, well, fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for your time, Jeremy.
Thank you.